So for this video, this is going to be a really pretty quick one. We're going to open up. We're going to work on our shoulders a little bit. And then I'll do another one right after this that's more opening up for the back and shoulders. So we're just going to start off. If you have an extra yoga mat or you have a blanket you can roll up or a bolster pillow, and then maybe grab a yoga block, just depends if your head comes off the blanket. But we're going to bring the mat or the blanket, whatever it is, right up against our sacrum. And then we're just going to roll back down on it. I'm going to make sure I'm still in the frame. So our spine is going to be right along this bolster. And then you can put the block up here for your head if the bolster's not long enough. If it's long enough, just rest your head on that. And just open up. Just think about if you stood straight up, you're pulling those shoulder blades together, and if you stood up, you'd bring this bolster with you. So just, you can stretch your legs out. I've got a wall right here because I'm on my front porch. But you can stretch your legs out, or you can keep your feet on the floor. That might feel a little better for your low back. So just hang out here. We're gonna stay here a little bit. You can stay here longer. You can pause this or turn it off and stay here till the cows come home. That's fine. Just let your arms relax. Let your face relax. Go ahead and take your hands and bring them over your eyes like this, peekaboo, and then roll back. And we're going to take our fingertips and just push our forehead back and pull it down. So gently move it back and forth. Go ahead and start your breathing. And then start to work your fingers down towards your temples. So you're still moving back and forth. And then when you get to your temples, press them a little bit. Don't bore a hole through your head, but just press them a little bit. And then take your ring finger and make some little gentle circles one way. Continue to breathe. And then go the other way. And then take your fingertips down in front of your ears, right onto your jawbone, and slide them behind your neck. I'm going to lower my elbows so you can see, but you might have your elbows out to the side. And just start making those circles again. Just had something blow in my mouth. And reverse it. So your fingertips are touching just right there at the back of your neck. Let those ring fingers come back up onto the base of your skull and make little circles again. Maybe press a little bit harder and then go the other way. And then slide your fingers down the sides of your neck. Bring your arms back onto the floor. And let your palms roll up. So that's going to open out the shoulders a little bit more. Take some deep breaths. Go ahead and pull that belly button in. And then while we're laying here, we could do this sitting up, but I want you to open up a little bit more. So just do this while you're laying down. Take your left hand onto your right shoulder and just start scrunching around. Press, maybe you find a little tight spot, maybe there's several spots, but just start kind of working all around that shoulder. Get up into the side of the neck too, and then where the neck meets the shoulder, and then just kind of poke around. And if you find a knot or a tight spot, just hold your fingertips there. I've got mine on a little spot right there. And just press while you breathe. Take about 4 big deep inhales and exhales. A couple more breaths.
slowly release that. Now let your head roll to the right. So it'll be stretching the left side of the neck, but it's releasing the right side. And then slowly roll your head back to the center, release that left arm. Take a couple of deep breaths here, wrap those shoulder blades back around that bolster. Blocks slipping off. And then take your right hand over to your left shoulder and same thing, squeeze around, press, massage, poke, prod, whatever you need to do. Up into the side of the neck. And then down where the neck and shoulder meet. And then again, kind of start poking, take a finger, 2 fingers, and just press around a little bit, find a spot. If you don't find a spot, just pick a spot, but it's pretty easy with my shoulders to find a spot. And again, just press down, and then let your head roll to the left. So now we're stretching the right side of the neck. We're releasing the left side. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then inhale, release that right arm back down. Open up the palms again. Sorry, I had hair in my nose. And then if your legs are extended, go ahead and walk your feet up. And we're just gonna lift the hips up and down and up and down. A couple more times. And then this time, just roll right on up. Push up into a bridge. So your shoulders are on the bolster. Pull that belly button in. You can let the palms come back to the floor. I don't want you to push down. If you're pushing down, push with your feet. And we'll take the bolster away here in a minute and do some more bridges. So slowly roll back down. Now tip that tailbone down so if you're kind of at the edge of that bolster, your rear may tip down to the floor, and that's fine. It's putting in a little bigger back bend. And then slowly release. Take your knees over to one side and reach around. Move that bolster. Just put it out of the way. And then come back on to your back. You don't need the block. I'm going to take my hair down because the ponytail's digging into the floor. So bring this right knee into your chest. Hug it in. Roll that foot around. And then press the knee out to the right. Then bring that knee back in. Now we're going to put the foot on the left thigh. So this is our pigeon, our reclined pigeon. Now take your right palm. If you need to, if your hip's already screaming at you, just put your hand on the knee. But if you want more of a stretch, you want to open that hip, give that knee or the inner thigh a little press. And take some deep breaths, big deep inhale. As you exhale, a little press with that hand. So you can do this instead of that other pigeon we do. Maybe because of your knee. And then bring this knee back into the chest. Hug it in. And tap that foot to the floor. Bring your hands down by your hips. Now start to push your feet down and roll back up into a bridge. You're coming up onto the shoulders. Lengthen out your neck so your neck's not crammed down between your shoulders. And then lower and lift the bridge. Inhale, lift it. Exhale, lower it. more time. And then release down. Now bring this left knee in. I'm right up against a wall, so I'm not going to be able to open my hip much, but you go right ahead. So just bring this left knee out to the side. Wiggle those toes a little bit, and then as you inhale, bring that knee back to the center and put the foot on the right thigh, and kind of see where that hip's going. Let it kind of open up on its own. Then you can add your hand and give it a little press as you exhale. This right hand can be on your ribs or your hip or the floor. I always just kind of keep mine on my ribs. That's just me. But just give it a little gentle press every time you exhale. And then slowly release that, put that foot back on the floor, hands down by your hips. Now see if you can walk your heels in a little closer to your sit bones. If your knees say no, the knees win, listen to them. And press back up into a bridge. So with the feet pulled in, we're getting back on those shoulders a little bit more. And then move your feet forward. Feel these quads of steel right here. And again, my head and neck are nice and loose. Not my head, but my neck is. But I'm not shoving my head down into the floor. But I'm pushing my hips up. And I'm breathing. And then as you exhale, just walk down your vertebrae one at a time to the floor. And then bring both knees into your chest. Hug them in, but press the knees apart a little bit and rock from side to side. Again, watch out if you're by a wall. And then come back to the center. Now, take your knees over, take them to the left. I'll scoot over. But just twist open to the left. And then lift them up, and now twist them over to the right. Stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. And then roll on to your right side and stretch out and push yourself up and come around onto your hands and knees. So you can get that bolster if you want to under your knees, but we're just gonna do some cows and cats. This is really good for the back. So hands are shoulder width apart, knees are hip width apart. A couple more times. And then come back to a neutral spine. Now bring your left knee into your chest. And then extend that leg back. I'm up against a wall. I'll look over, make sure my head's not cut off. But just stretch that left leg out and then bring that knee in. So back and forth. So if you need to put something under your knees, go ahead. Switch legs. Bring this right knee in. And then extend and bend it in. And then set that foot down. Now reach the left leg back one more time. My arm's going to be out of the frame, but reach your right arm out and then look straight down at your mat. You can see what I'm doing, but then look down. Reach this right arm like somebody's pulling your wrist. Somebody else is pulling that ankle. You're going to be 3 inches taller when you're done. Exhale, release. Reach that right leg back. Ooh, that breeze feels good. And the left arm out, and it's blowing crud all over my mat. And then exhale, release that. Now just walk your knees over to one side, sit on your hip. Now what I'm going to show you, you can get 2 more blankets, and I have mine right here. It's just like one of those cooking shows where they already have all the chopped up stuff already ready. So we're going to make a T. I'm going to scoot this over so you can see, because we're going to be going up against a wall. So again, this is not a professional video by any means at all. But see that brown wall right there? That's where we're headed. And then you can take one blanket, fold it in thirds, and it's going to go right up against the wall. And then this other blanket is going to come alongside it. It's going to make a T. So I'll show you maybe right like that. Again, nothing but professional for me here. So what we're going to do is come up on the blankets, and we're going to scoot our sit bones right up against the wall. If you got hamstring issues, you know, you'll keep your knees bent. But then we're going to lay back on this blanket. You don't have to use it, but it feels really good. And then just extend your legs up the wall. You know, if you want to make this your yoga practice, just doing this, you don't have to be warmed up for Viparita Karani. That's what this is. But just take some deep breaths. The blankets may feel good on your back if you've got back issues or disc issues. Wiggle those toes a little bit. Just let the palms roll up. If you've got space, you can take the legs out to the side. I don't have space. But take some deep breaths. I gotta see how much room I've got. Then if you want to do a little bridge, you can lift up and down. And release that, and then extend on up. And just hang out here as long as you want to. Make this your Shavasana, your relaxation. Maybe get that bolster again. Take some deep breaths. And then when you're ready to come out of it, bring the knees into your chest. Just roll over to one side. Stretch out that top leg. Come into a seated pose. However you can sit. Bring your hands to your heart. Just take a moment for a little prayer or gratitude. So thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.